Hey there! I've prepared a fantastic list of 112 essential nouns to help you ace the IELTS exam. Ready to dive in? If you're busy, don't worry, you can come back later. But trust me, you don't want to miss this. If you've got a bit more than half an hour to spare, let's get started. Association. A group of people organized for a purpose. She joined an association for book lovers. The sports association planned the tournament. The local association organized a cleanup drive. He is a member of the alumni association. Affiliation. The state of being closely associated or connected. The company has an affiliation with a local NGO. His affiliation with the club was well known. The university seeks affiliation with renowned institutes. She has an affiliation with the music industry. Diplomacy. The art of managing international relations. Diplomacy helped resolve the conflict peacefully. He studied diplomacy and international relations. The ambassador's diplomacy was appreciated worldwide. Good diplomacy can prevent unnecessary wars. Discretion. The quality of behaving or speaking in such a way to avoid causing offense or revealing private information. She handled the situation with great discretion. Parents trust his discretion with their secrets. Use discretion when sharing sensitive information. He showed discretion in his professional duties. Elimination. The act of removing or getting rid of something. The elimination of errors improved the system. He focused on the elimination of waste in production. The team worked towards the elimination of poverty. The elimination of the weakest link was crucial. Auction. A public sale in which goods are sold to the highest bidder. She bought an antique vase at the auction. The auction attracted many art collectors. They attended an auction to find rare items. The charity auction raised a lot of money. Essence. The most important quality or element of something. The essence of good cooking is fresh ingredients. The essence of his argument was simple. She captured the essence of the moment in her photo. Understanding the essence of the issue was key. Diversity. The state of being diverse, variety. The workplace embraced cultural diversity. Diversity in the classroom enriches learning. They celebrated the diversity of their community. The conference promoted diversity in science. Exposure. The state of being exposed to contact with something. Exposure to sunlight is beneficial for health. The news report covered the exposure to toxins. He avoided exposure to cold weather. Proper exposure to different cultures is enriching. Hierarchy. A system in which people or things are ranked one above the other. The company has a clear management hierarchy. The hierarchy of needs theory is well known. The family followed a strict social hierarchy. The military hierarchy is very structured. Longevity. Long life, the duration of something. His longevity in the company was impressive. The longevity of the batteries is remarkable. They admired the longevity of their relationship. Longevity in the field requires dedication. Hazard. A danger or risk. Smoking is a major health hazard. The workers wore helmets to avoid hazards. The chemical spill posed a serious hazard. Knowing the hazards is important for safety. Inclination. A person's natural tendency or urge to act in a particular way. She has an inclination towards artistic pursuits. He showed an inclination for leadership roles. Their inclination to travel grew stronger. His inclination to help others is admirable. Monopoly. Exclusive control over a commodity or service. The company had a monopoly on cable TV. He opposed the monopoly of the oil industry. Monopoly can lead to higher prices for consumers. The tech giant faced monopoly allegations. Suppression. The act of stopping or reducing something. The suppression of the protest was sudden. They worked on the suppression of the virus. The government faced criticism for suppression. Suppression of dissent can be dangerous. Broadcasting. Transmitting a program by radio or TV. She started a career in TV broadcasting. Broadcasting news requires careful scripting. The broadcasting of the event reached millions. He enjoys working in the broadcasting field. Endorsement. Public approval or support for something. The celebrity's endorsement boosted sales. She sought endorsement for her new project. The athlete received a lucrative endorsement deal. Political endorsement can influence voters. Assurance. A positive declaration intended to give confidence. They gave us assurance about the product quality. He offered assurance that the plan would work. Assurance of support was needed for the decision. Her assurance made everyone feel at ease. Conservation. The protection and preservation of the environment. They focus on the conservation of wildlife. Conservation efforts are crucial for the planet. She is passionate about water conservation. The group promotes conservation of natural resources. Propaganda. Information used to promote a political cause. The regime used propaganda to control the masses. Propaganda can sometimes mislead the public. They spread propaganda through various media. Recognizing propaganda is important for democracy. Concession. Something granted in response to demands. They made a concession to reach an agreement. The company offered a concession to the workers. He saw the concession as a sign of compromise. Concession was necessary for the deal to proceed. Longing. A strong desire for something or someone. She felt a longing to visit her hometown. His longing for adventure never faded. They shared a deep longing for peace. The book describes his longing for love. Mechanism. A system of parts working together in a machine or process. The mechanism of the clock was fascinating. She explained the mechanism of the new device. The mechanism behind the process is complex. Engineers designed the mechanism carefully. Specimen. An individual plant, animal, or thing that is an example of its species or type. The museum displayed a rare dinosaur specimen. She collected specimen from the forest. They found a beautiful specimen of the flower. The doctor examined the specimen under a microscope. Harmony. The quality of forming a pleasing and consistent whole. The choir sang in perfect harmony. The colors of the room created harmony. They worked together in harmony. Family harmony is important for happiness. Discussion. The action or process of talking about something. They had a discussion about the new project. The discussion lasted for several hours. He joined the discussion on climate change. The discussion was very informative. Obligation. A duty or commitment. He has an obligation to support his family. The contract imposed an obligation on both parties. She felt an obligation to attend the meeting. Fulfilling your obligation is important. Cliché. A phrase or opinion that is overused and lacks original thought. Time flies is such a cliché. His speech was full of clichés. Avoid using clichés in your writing. The movie ended on a cliché note. Bleak. Lacking in warmth, life, or kindliness, grim. The future looked bleak after the disaster. The landscape was bleak and desolate. His outlook on life became bleak. The weather forecast is bleak for the weekend. Persuasion. The act of convincing someone to do or believe something. She used persuasion to change his mind. His persuasion skills are very impressive. Persuasion can be a powerful tool in business. They relied on persuasion to win support. Redundancy. The state of being no longer needed or useful. He was let go due to redundancy in the company. Redundancy can sometimes lead to job losses. The system was designed with redundancy in mind. She faced redundancy after the project ended. Coincidence. A remarkable concurrence of events or circumstances. It was a coincidence that they met at the cafe. The similarity in their ideas was a coincidence. Their birthdays falling on the same day was a coincidence. The meeting was a pure coincidence. Constraint. A limitation or restriction. The budget constraint affected the project. Time constraint made the task more challenging. They worked under the constraint of a deadline. Space constraint required creative solutions. Solitude. The state of being alone. He enjoyed the solitude of the countryside. Solitude can be very refreshing for the mind. She found peace in the solitude of her room. The artist sought solitude to create his work. Desolation. A state of complete emptiness or destruction. The war left the city in desolation. The desolation of the area was heart-wrenching. They wandered through the desolation of the ruins. The poem depicted the desolation of loneliness. Mountain. A large natural elevation of the Earth's surface. They hiked up the mountain for the view. The mountain was covered in a blanket of snow. He loves the fresh air of the mountain. The mountain range is breathtakingly beautiful. Triumph. A great victory or achievement. Winning the competition was a huge triumph. The team's triumph was celebrated by everyone. They felt triumph after overcoming the challenge. Her success was a personal triumph. Rivals. Competitors or adversaries. The two companies are fierce rivals. Rivals in the market always strive to outdo each other. The tennis players were longtime rivals. Their rivalry pushed them to do better. Deception. The act of deceiving someone. He was caught in a web of deception. Deception is not a good trait in a leader. The magician's act was full of deception. She uncovered the deception in the plan. Endurance. The ability to withstand hardship or adversity. She showed great endurance during the marathon. Endurance is key to long-distance running. His endurance helped him overcome the challenges. Building endurance takes time and effort. Vanity. Excessive pride in one's appearance or achievements. Her vanity made her spend hours in front of the mirror. Vanity can sometimes lead to poor decisions. The character's vanity was his downfall. They were irritated by his constant vanity. Adaptation. The process of adjusting to new conditions. The film is an adaptation of a famous novel. Adaptation to new environments can be challenging. The adaptation of the book was well received. She excelled in the adaptation to her new role. Intervention. The act of becoming involved in a situation. The doctor's intervention saved the patient's life. Early intervention can prevent serious issues. Government intervention was necessary to stabilize the economy. His intervention helped resolve the dispute. Reasoning. The action of thinking about something in a logical way. His reasoning behind the decision was sound. Good reasoning is essential for problem solving. The judge praised her clear reasoning. They questioned the reasoning of the argument. Bankruptcy. The state of being unable to pay outstanding debts. The company declared bankruptcy last month. Bankruptcy can result from poor financial management. He avoided bankruptcy by cutting expenses. The store closed due to bankruptcy. Compensation. Something given to make up for a loss or injury. She received compensation for the accident. The company offered compensation for the delays. Workers are entitled to compensation for overtime. His compensation package was very generous. Payoff. A reward or return for effort. The payoff was worth the effort. He waited for the big payoff. The payoff for hard work is sweet. The payoff came after years. Property. Something owned by a person or entity. They bought a new property. This property is very spacious. She sold the old property. The property value increased. Irony. A situation that is opposite to what was expected. It's irony that he won the race. The irony made everyone laugh. The irony of fate struck again. He appreciated the irony in it. Indifference. Lack of interest or concern. She showed indifference to it. His indifference was obvious. They faced indifference together. Indifference led to their breakup. Discrimination. Unjust treatment based on differences. They fought against discrimination. The law bans discrimination. Discrimination is very harmful. They faced racial discrimination. Evolution. Gradual development or change. Evolution shaped our planet. The evolution of technology is rapid. Evolution led to new species. He studied the evolution of man. Hyperbole. Exaggerated statements not meant to be taken literally. His hyperbole made me laugh. The story was full of hyperbole. She spoke in hyperbole a lot. Hyperbole can be misleading. Nostalgia. Sentimental longing for the past. He felt a wave of nostalgia. Nostalgia hit him unexpectedly. She loves the nostalgia of her youth. They talked about the nostalgia. Hospitality. Friendly and generous reception of guests. They showed us great hospitality. Their hospitality was amazing. He thanked her for her hospitality. The hotel's hospitality was superb. Inspection. Careful examination or scrutiny. The car passed the inspection. They did a home inspection today. The inspection revealed flaws. His job is to conduct inspections. Courtesy. Polite behavior or gestures. She showed courtesy to everyone. Courtesy costs nothing at all. He appreciated their courtesy. Courtesy is always appreciated. Arrangements. Plans or preparations. The arrangements are complete. They made the travel arrangements. The party arrangements are done. His wedding arrangements are on. Obsession. An idea or thought that preoccupies the mind. Her obsession is well known. He has an obsession with fitness. The obsession grew stronger. His obsession affected his work. Fascination. Intense interest or attraction. Her fascination with art is clear. The book held a deep fascination. His fascination never faded. She talks about her fascination. Legend. A traditional story sometimes popularly regarded. He became a legend after that win. The legend is known to everyone. Legends often grow with time. She read about ancient legends. Optimism. Hopefulness and confidence about the future. Her optimism is truly inspiring. He maintains optimism despite odds. Optimism can be very contagious. They approached it with optimism. Plethora. A large or excessive amount. There is a plethora of options. She has a plethora of ideas. A plethora of opportunities awaits. They offered a plethora of choices. Possession. The state of having, owning, or controlling. The possession is legally theirs. He took possession of the house. Possession of the keys is crucial. They fought over possession rights. Acceptance. The action of consenting to receive or undertake. Acceptance came after hard work. Her acceptance letter arrived. They waited for his acceptance. Acceptance is key to happiness. Virus. A small infectious agent that replicates only inside the living cells of an organism. The virus spread quickly. He got a computer virus yesterday. The doctor diagnosed a virus. Viruses can be very dangerous. Intrusion. The act of intruding or entering without permission. The intrusion was unexpected. He apologized for the intrusion. She felt the intrusion deeply. They reported the intrusion. Plagiarism. The practice of taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them off as one's own. Plagiarism is a serious offense. The teacher caught plagiarism. Avoid plagiarism in your work. He was accused of plagiarism. Abuse. The improper use of something or the act of mistreating someone. He faced emotional abuse daily. She reported the abuse immediately. Abuse can have long-term effects. They spoke out against abuse. Speculation. The forming of a theory or conjecture without firm evidence. His speculation proved wrong. The news was full of speculation. Speculation is not always helpful. They engaged in idle speculation. Resentment. Bitter indignation at having been treated unfairly. She felt deep resentment. His resentment grew over time. Resentment can be very harmful. They expressed their resentment. Pupils. Students in a school. The pupils listened attentively. The teacher praised her pupils. The pupils worked on the project. Pupils attended the assembly. Allowance. Money given regularly for a specific purpose. She spent her allowance wisely. He saved his allowance every week. Their allowance was increased. The allowance helped him save. Competence. The ability to do something successfully. She demonstrated her competence. Competence is crucial for success. He questions his own competence. The job requires high competence. Resilience. The capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. Her resilience inspired others. He showed great resilience today. Resilience helps in tough times. They admire her resilience greatly. Retention. The ability to keep or hold on to something. Retention of facts is important. The company aims for retention. Their retention rate is very high. She worked on memory retention. Recruitment. The process of finding and hiring new employees. Recruitment is ongoing this month. The recruitment drive starts soon. They handle recruitment efficiently. Recruitment ads were everywhere. Distinction. A difference or contrast between similar things. There is a clear distinction here. The distinction was quite obvious. She graduated with distinction. He explained the distinction well. Conviction. A firmly held belief or opinion. His conviction never wavered. She spoke with strong conviction. They admired his firm conviction. Her conviction was inspiring. Scrutiny. Close and critical examination. The plan was under scrutiny. He passed the scrutiny test. They faced scrutiny from others. Scrutiny revealed many issues. Scandal. An action or event causing public outrage. The scandal shocked everyone. He was involved in a scandal. The news of the scandal spread. The scandal ruined his career. Extinction. The state of a species being no longer in existence. Dinosaurs faced extinction. The risk of extinction is high. Extinction events are studied. Preventing extinction is crucial. Species. A group of living organisms with similar characteristics. Many species are endangered. He studies plant species. New species were discovered. Protecting species is essential. Standpoint. A particular perspective or point of view. From my standpoint, it's clear. Her standpoint was unique. They debated from different standpoints. He explained his standpoint well. Sustainability. The ability to maintain or continue over time. Sustainability is important. They focus on sustainability. Her project promotes sustainability. Sustainability efforts are rising. Prejudice. Preconceived opinion not based on reason or experience. They faced racial prejudice. Prejudice harms social harmony. He fought against prejudice. Prejudice is deeply rooted. Apology. A regretful acknowledgement of an offense. She accepted his apology. His apology seemed sincere. He issued a public apology. Apology notes are thoughtful. Wreck. The destruction of a ship, car, or building. The car wreck was severe. They survived the shipwreck. The storm caused a wreck. The wreck was beyond repair. Casualty. A person killed or injured in an accident. There was no casualty reported. The war resulted in many casualties. Casualties were treated quickly. The accident caused casualties. Stereotype. A widely held but oversimplified idea of a person or thing. Breaking stereotypes is important. He challenged the stereotypes. Stereotypes can be harmful. Stereotypes are often unfair. Contempt. The feeling that something is worthless. He looked at me with contempt. She couldn't hide her contempt. Their contempt was very clear. Contempt was evident in his voice. Alliance. A union formed for mutual benefit. The alliance was very strong. They formed a secret alliance. The alliance lasted many years. The alliance met last night. Deficiency. A lack or shortage of something. Iron deficiency causes fatigue. The deficiency affected growth. The doctor noted the deficiency. Deficiency in vitamins is common. Retardation. The delay in development or progress. Retardation affects many children. He studied growth retardation. The retardation was quite evident. Retardation hinders progress. Consensus. General agreement. The consensus was finally reached. They achieved consensus quickly. Consensus is vital for progress. The group reached a consensus. Panacea. A solution for all difficulties. There is no panacea for all woes. She sought a panacea for problems. The idea was a panacea to many. Panacea is a magical solution. Analogy. A comparison between two things. The teacher used an analogy. His analogy clarified the concept. They liked his clever analogy. Analogy helps in understanding. Ubiquity. The state of being everywhere at once. The ubiquity of technology is real. He spoke about the ubiquity of AI. Ubiquity defines the modern age. The ubiquity of phones is notable. Amendment. A minor change or addition. The amendment was approved. He proposed an amendment. The amendment improved the law. They discussed the amendment. Contradiction. A direct opposition between things. There was a contradiction in terms. His statement was a contradiction. They noted the contradiction. Contradiction made it confusing. Millennium. A period of 1,000 years. The millennium celebration was grand. He studied the last millennium. The new millennium brought hope. Millennium goals were achieved. Dissemination. The act of spreading widely. Dissemination of information is key. They focused on dissemination. She led the dissemination efforts. Dissemination was fast and broad. Accusation. A charge or claim that someone has done something illegal or wrong. She denied the accusation. The accusation was unfounded. They faced false accusations. His accusation shocked everyone. Bias. Prejudice in favor of or against something. Her bias was clearly visible. Bias can affect decisions. They worked to reduce bias. The study showed bias in results. Manipulation. Controlling someone or something to one's advantage. He used manipulation tactics. They resisted his manipulation. Manipulation is often subtle. She saw through the manipulation. Surveillance. Close observation, especially of a suspected spy or criminal. Surveillance footage was reviewed. They increased surveillance measures. The city has surveillance cameras. He felt uneasy under surveillance. Privilege. A special right or advantage. She enjoyed many privileges. Privilege comes with responsibility. He acknowledged his privilege. They discussed social privilege. Successor. A person or thing that succeeds another. He was named as her successor. The successor was chosen carefully. They met the new successor. The successor will take over soon. Paradigm. A typical example or pattern of something. The new paradigm is interesting. They discussed the old paradigm. She shifted the paradigm entirely. The paradigm is changing quickly. Perseverance. Persistent effort in doing something despite difficulty. Her perseverance paid off. Perseverance is key to success. They admired his perseverance. Perseverance leads to rewards. Dilemma. A situation requiring a difficult choice. She faced a moral dilemma. His dilemma was hard to resolve. The dilemma puzzled everyone. They debated the ethical dilemma. Collaboration. Working together with others to achieve a goal. Collaboration improved results. The project needs collaboration. They succeeded through collaboration. Collaboration fosters innovation.